For those of you who don't know me, I'm the creator, channel, and publisher of the multi-award winning and literally history-making Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. And we are in the middle of my Kickstarter for my new book, which is Spirit, Totem, and Power Animals, the complete book of animal spirit guides. And this is the top 5 reasons why you must have this new book in your life. Please remember that I have pledged at least $5,000 of the profits of this book to animal charities that fight to prevent cruelty to animals. And that's why I'm running the Kickstarter during April, is because it's Prevention of Animal Cruelty Month. Now, I've already donated $3,000 of those dollars because I absolutely trust that we're going to get to where we want to go. The animal allies wouldn't let it be any other way. So without further ado, let me go into the top 5 reasons why you've got to have this book in your life. For those of you that already have the Arc Animal Tarot, you'll know that inside is if you have the first edition, we sold out so quickly, we immediately had to order a second edition. The first edition has 340 or 50 something, 60 something pages. And the new second edition has 372 pages of full color of the animals, their descriptions, both as what their overall symbolism and meaning is, and then of course what they mean as a spirit, totem, and power animal. And in the new book, there are 300 animals. And this is, so this is the copy that I got from my printer. And you can see, oh, there's a little bit of a size difference between these books, right? So what that means is the new book has at least double the information on each animal as does this book, because you can only fit so much in a book that goes within a tarot deck. But this is, I would say, potentially the most complete guidebook that's ever come with any tarot deck. It is a full-size book. It is full color. And again, the new one is like 382 pages, and the other one was like 360 or something. And that's why the book has won awards as, the best guidebook accompanying a tarot deck. Now, I go into all of that because I'm beginning a lot of questions about which animals are included in the new book. So the 149 animals, because there are 149 animals in the Arc Tarot book, the same animals, yes, they are in the new book, but whereas in this book it only gives you this information about your animal ally as a spirit and totem animal. When you get the new book, which is ginormous, you get a full, you get a full, whole, ginormous, lots of really in-depth information about what your animal ally will mean as a spirit, totem, and power animal. You also get a more full description of the dreams. And then, of course, we had a lot more room to add a lot more information. So the descriptions are not the same as in the book. It is greatly expanded. And you'll notice in the book that there's a color picture of a real animal, which is what the animal allies told me they wanted to use in the Arc Animal Tarot. We're using color in the book as well. And that's so that you can have, it's a very different feeling, both psychically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, when you get in touch with a real animal rather than looking at a drawing. No matter how amazing that art is or the painting or whatever it is, there's a different feel, there's a different energy that will come to you via the book that will connect you a little more deeply with the animal. Well, actually a lot more deeply with the animal, because it's real, it's natural. And then, of course, over here, you've got, your key energies and magic that this animal will bring to you. And then down here, there's a prayer and intention for each animal. Now, let me talk about each animal. Yes, there are 149 animals in the new book that are greatly expanded descriptions of what's in this book, but there are also 151 animals that you've never seen before. Maybe, well, I know a lot of them aren't in any book anywhere. So totally there are 300 animal descriptions in the new book. It is 704 pages. And the rest of the pages, this book weighs 5.5 pounds, y'all. Well, actually almost 6 pounds, y'all. It's no joke. It's intended to be a reference guide for you to be able to use for years and years and years to come. And because of the artwork that we're putting into it, it can also be used as a coffee table book. I'm very confident about that. And so well, before I get on to the rest of what's in this book that makes it the most comprehensive guide of all time, having to do with spirit, totem, and power animals, is the cover is what's called a flexi-bound cover. So it's not a soft cover, but it's not a hard cover. It's that kind of quality in between. And the reason that I chose that is when I looked at shipping costs for something hard copy, ooh, it was significantly more, but I wanted you guys to have something sturdier than a regular, paperback cover. So that's what we did. The other thing is, this book is stitch sewn on the inside, and it's in 7 pieces where it's stitch sewn so that you can lay it flat and you don't get any of that kind of craziness, when you're trying to open a book and it's just glued together, and to get it flat or to make it comfortable to read it where you're not doing this, it rips the pages and the binding. We're not doing that. So there's that. This book is incredibly well made, really awesome quality materials going into it. And so that's the first and biggest reason that you should get this book, is that it is, well, actually, that's the first 2 reasons. It's because of all of the information in it, the quality of it. Actually, that's 3 reasons. What am I thinking? I'm just so excited to talk about the book, you guys, because there's not anything else like it in the whole world, and it's going to bring you so much closer to your animal allies. And whether you're using the information for yourself, or you're a reader and you read with the animal allies, or you do healing with the animal allies, you just won't, there's just, this is it. Like, it's the definitive work on the subject. So all of that said, first, first 3 reasons, because it's a great accompaniment to the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. You'll be able to do even deeper work with your cards, right? With the animals in here. There are 151 extra animals in the book. That makes 300 animals. And the quality of this book is crazy. And oh, by the way, the paper that we're choosing, the flexi-bound cover, I'm paying to have it stitch sewn so that it will last forever and it won't do that crazy stuff with the binding. This is a 9x11 book, right? This, the book for the Arc is like, ooh, I think it's 6.5 by something. So you can see the size difference. And yes, size matters, as you well know. But the point is me harping on the size is that so you get a complete, it's kind of hard to tell about things in videos, but you get a better maybe visual of what kind of what you're getting for investing in the Kickstarter, which, by the way, is the same thing as pre-ordering your book. Another amazing reason to go ahead and pre-order your book now through my Kickstarter campaign is that after I started my Kickstarter, paper costs went up by 40%. And so that's, certainly you guys are going to be getting an enormous bargain on this book, because after the Kickstarter, the minute the clock strikes 11/11 on May 1st, we're done Zola. I have no choice but to put the book price up commensurate with the increased paper prices. And so all of that said, there are, when we reach our stretch goals, and I know we're going to reach our stretch goals, there are 2 more books that will be unlocked that will be an accompaniment to the already 300 books the 300 animals in the main book, plus everything else that's in the book that I'm going to go over in just a second. And that is the domestic cats version, which has 35 domestic cats, and the domestic dogs version, which has 35 domestic dogs. And it's, the symbolism of animals is pretty much the same at its core. So if you're talking about dogs, you're talking about cats, at its core, their symbolism and meaning is the same. But when you start talking about, a Sphinx cat versus a tabby versus a calico versus a Norwegian forest cat, you start talking about dogs, and you start talking about, Chihuahuas as opposed to pit bulls, as opposed to German shepherds, as opposed to Irish wolfhounds, that kind of thing. You're talking about so much more information that you can glean from that animal spirit guide when you have that extra information. So if all of that is not reason enough to buy this book, I'm going to blow your mind. All right. So there are 300 animals in the book with all of the in-depth, easy to understand and follow, but in-depth descriptions. And now there are chapters about recognizing and meeting and invoking your animal allies, shamanic journeying and breath work, what are familiars, how you work with those, animal dream interpretation, creating sigils, talismans, ceremonies, rituals, shadow work. There's even, I've got a whole chapter in there about animal energies and crystal frequencies, working healing with the animal allies. And oh, also the elements, the cardinal directions, the seasons, numerology, color, how all of that plays into working with and coming into deeper alignment with your animal spirit guides. Now, I'm going to blow your mind. There, for a fact, what I'm about to tell you, for a fact, there is not another spirit totem and power animal, anything having to do with Animal Spirit Guides book on the planet that has the accompanying what I'm about to tell you that I'm including, which is a free instructional video for each other chapter in the book. So there'll be all of the information in the book, but then there's also an accompanying class that goes along with that. It's a half an hour, and I'll go into a little more depth. I'll show you some different things that, you know, you just can't put in, you can't really convey in a book. And so that's what, like, I don't know, another 8 or 9 free videos, instructions that you get, that the videos are only available to the people who have the book and have the link. And in terms of the world of shamanism and shamanic practicing, there isn't another book out there that has all of these accompanying extra multimedia facets to it. So you're getting an awful lot of awesome information all from one book. Again, if you're, you know, if you're attached to the natural world, if you're emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually connected to the natural world, in particular to the animal kingdom, you must have this book. The link to my Kickstarter so you can buy your amazing book that you know you need and want in your life, link is right up there, and it's also in the comments below. What's the most important thing? To do good for animals and to stay wild.